Welcome to the Flower Lounge, a place for conversations with wildly creative people and a little plant-loving wisdom to help you experience life in full bloom. I'm Katie Hess, flower alchemist and founder of LOTUSWEI, and I believe in a world where we're all living at our personal edge. Welcome to the Flowerlounge Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. This is going to be another flower-specific podcast episode. I'm going to talk about the flower of the month and a couple of the blends that I find particularly helpful, and what I think is just the overall theme for this month in the world, and some helpful practices and methods that I'm employing and that I can share with you and offer as ways to transmute some of the energy that is coming in right now. And let me just say that I have been on several Zoom conferences, and every time I sort of like peek my head outside of my own little pink bubble, I see that there are people that are struggling. Like, so many people are struggling. I hear about, kids being lonely at home and battling with online schooling and having a rough time. And, there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on in this world right now. We'll just leave it at that. There's a lot of crazy. And so one of the tactics that I am finding to be the most powerful for this particular month is in creativity. And when I actually look back historically in my own life, when things have been really, really challenging, there are moments where you really just need to be on your knees. Life brings you to your knees in surrender. But then some of the way that you can work that energy through your body and move forward is through creative projects, or being creative, or trying to funnel or take that energy and channel it into something. And that's really ultimately the theme of this month, is channeling your energy into creativity to transmute. One of the flowers that we're highlighting this month is the Taiwanese azalea flower that grows on the side of a cliff in the wild, jungly areas in Taiwan. We collected it last summer, and we're working with this specific flower in the Flower Evolution. Now, if you're not in the Flower Evolution, come and join us, because it is so incredible. It truly, truly is incredible. And I don't say that because I'm biased. Like, every month I'm surprised with the program myself. So as many of you want to jump in and join, you won't regret it. It is profound. The insights that you gain and the sort of energetic push in a positive direction. But if you are not in the Flower Evolution program, the blends that I would suggest for this month are Game Changer and Inspired Action. Inspired Action is more of like a drive, passion, fiery, get it done, finish it, complete it. And Game Changer is more like spacious, think outside the box, make it easy, grow effortlessly. So those two blends are huge supports. I've been using them nonstop all day, every day, along with the azalea. Azalea is a little bit different in terms of creativity, in that it helps us look from a macro perspective. So we're looking at things from a bird's eye view, looking at systems, strategies, streamlining. And maybe I'm speaking like in business terminology, but it can be something as practical as something in your family, like a cooking system, or dinner, or shopping, or something really practical that there may be ways to make it easier, or automate, or delegate, or share resources with your neighbors, or carpool, practical ways to creatively rethink your life. And as we are in a particular situation in the world where things are frustrating, sometimes things don't make sense at all. There's conflicting information. There's a lot of polarity that can lead us to feel frustrated and irritable. And so I'm saying one of the most powerful ways to use that energy is to funnel it into creative ventures and creative solutions, and redream up this new world that we want to live in. I hear some people say, we can't go back to the way things were because they were so crazy busy. Now let's rethink, reimagine, redream up what we want the future to be. And the future is now. So the time is now, and the action is now. Last month, we worked with Sacred Datura in the Flower Revolution program. And I personally, this is just me personally as Katie, feel like the previous month or 2 months or so really were more like a purging. And everyone needs the opportunity to go through that, and everybody is working at their own timing. So this may or may not resonate with you right at this moment, but everyone may need their time of digging and finding their way down rabbit holes on the internet, trying to understand what's going on, doing their own personal research. I'm a huge advocate of doing your own research on every level and every topic, on questioning everything, on finding primary sources, on really deciding what is right and intuitively feels good to you as a human being. So we all need time to do that. And sometimes we also need time to see the truth of things and to see the hard truths of things. And that may be another time period. I see next month in the Flower Revolution, we're working with a flower called Wishbone, which is all about being fearless around seeing what's scary and ugly. So we may get another opportunity to really have the type of energy where we're fearless to look at the underbelly of things, whether it's in ourselves, in our own bellies, or in the underbelly of our city, our community, and the world at large. However, what I'm feeling very strongly this month in August 2020 is the more that you can take, if you feel frustrated or angry or irritable or this doesn't make sense or confused, take some of that energy and funnel it into recreating a new world, into creative projects. I'm going to share some of the things that inspire me personally and some projects that I've been up to, some projects that friends and roommates of mine have been up to, in hopes to inspire you to see how you can bring this kind of energy into your life. So I was thinking the other day, one of our partners in Sedona is Local Juicery. I have interviewed previously on the podcast the owner. Her name is Summer Sanders. She's beautiful, genius, brilliant, a mama, and a powerful entrepreneur. We're in this situation, right? And we've had lockdowns and we've had all kinds of things occur this summer. And despite that, Summer has been a huge inspiration to me when I look at what she's up to at her juiceries, both in Sedona and in Flagstaff in Arizona. And she is also opening a green beauty shop called Swim, SWHM, as well as a restaurant. So I'm looking at, and she just had another child. So she has 2 kids. She just had a baby, and she's opening not just one, her 3rd business, but also her 4th business during a time like this. And so it got me thinking, she's so on target, and that's actually what we're doing. And that's actually what I'm seeing the people around me do is, yeah, it's okay to have a little moment of frustration and like, what the heck is going on? This is so confusing. And then you can double down your energy into action and creativity and recreating a new world the way you feel is best and the way that you have the capacity to create it. Like, how amazing that there is a woman who is opening a restaurant and a green beauty shop and also maintains 2 juiceries and probably has other plans as well and is taking care of 2 children and a huge team. So huge props to Summer. We are going to be working on a project together. Won't release the details for that yet. But I'm really excited about that. I have another project that I'm working on with Mama Medicine. We'll also release more details about that. I am loving working with other women entrepreneurs. It is so much fun. And let me just share some of the projects that I see other people doing around me that are inspiring me. So one is Lisa Reinhardt of Way of Chocolate. I've interviewed her several times on the podcast. She is a phenomenal human being. And she is releasing a new dark chocolate flavor, and I am sitting on the edge of my seat. I can't wait until it comes out. It has 2 of the flower essences that we are featuring in our Flower Revolution program. So if you're not in the Flower Revolution, come on and get with the program. But if you're not, you can buy the chocolate and get them that way. It should be out within a week or 2, and it is inspired by our travels in Taiwan with black sesame and black salt. I hope she doesn't mind me outing her new flavor here on the podcast. And it will have both the azalea flower elixirs infused into it and the wishbone flower, which both came from Taiwan. And those are the flowers of August and September being featured here at LOTUSWEI. Her chocolate is the best. I eat it every day. It's, dairy-free, white sugar-free, gluten-free, soy-free, guilt-free. And she has a lot of new flavors and many new flavors to come. We've joined forces and are helping dream up new flavors. And she has a lot of really fun stuff coming up. She's doing a lot of limited edition flavors. So keep your eye on wayofchocolate.com. That is super inspiring. And then one of my roommates, who is a Montessori teacher, I also have introduced you to her through the podcast. Her name is Caitlin McClelland, and we did an episode about homeschooling a month or so ago. And she is on fire right now. She started a micro school here in Phoenix, Arizona, through an organization called Prenda. And I've known her for over 15 years. I've watched her teach in a variety of different schools, from Chinese immersion to Montessori preschools to public schools to special education to teaching for several years in Taipei, Taiwan. She is incredible with children and parents and in her style of teaching. We are so in alignment because her system and what she teaches through the Montessori method is all around self-awareness and self-discovery. And so we're so proud to be able to donate the space here at the San Center for the micro school. And I've been really inspired watching it take shape and take form. The kids just started. Today will mark 1 week of their first week of school. There are 7 children in her classroom. 6 are girls and 1 is a boy. And they're doing the most amazing projects. She's making me want to go back to school. I mean, besides being in this lovely space that, of course, is the San Center with yummy, colorful carpets and cushions and flower essences and comfy space, she's bringing in all kinds of interactive hands-on elements. They're tumbling rocks. They're making individual pizzas. They're molding things in clay. They're creating clothing lines for their dolls. I mean, it's really incredible what you can do when you add hands-on interactive work into academics. It is such an inspiring venture, and it's so fun to watch, in a climate where most kids are being asked to be plugged into school for 7 hours a day on Zoom and finding it very challenging. I love the fearlessness that Caitlin is engaging her school in, and it's just incredible. The kids are just like blooming. Oh my God, she's telling me stories, and I catch glimpses when I come upstairs, and it's like a family already, even after the first week. I think they're going to probably not want to go back to regular school if regular schools do open up later this fall. So I see this trend of homeschooling and micro schools, and I find it very interesting what happens when we just take education into our own hands and enliven it and reimagine it. So that's one example that I could share. Another one of my roommates, she has a tea company called Wisdom Nectar, and she just started playing around with making one of her teas into a tincture. I tried some this morning. It is incredible. It comes from the herbs and spices that she puts into her tea called Immune Support, but in the tincture format, it's like a cordial. It is the most delicious, and I'm not an alcohol drinker, so I don't regularly drink alcohol, but I could drink this as a medicinal cordial. It is so delicious and yummy. So I'm encouraging her to make a big batch of it so that we can make it available to you all and see if you like it. It could become a new product for Wisdom Nectar. Something that is, boosts the immune system, and it comes from Mother Nature, but it's delicious, and you can pour it over ice or mix it with sparkling water. So inspired. A couple other things. I feel like I'm just brain dumping here, but I'm really doing this to inspire you. We are releasing a new flower essence blend the next 1 to 2 weeks, and it's called Open Heart. It's the 3.0 of Infinite Love. So it's Infinite Love, Fierce Compassion, Open Heart. We will have more information, of course, about all the ins and outs of what the blend is for and the flowers. I feel like it's coming at a time where vulnerability is required. Vulnerability, authenticity, being able to speak about the pink elephant in the room, being able to engage in curiosity and remain curious and remain open to new points of view, to make space within ourselves for vulnerability and humanity and curiosity, and to be able to open our hearts. I think that's really important right now. So that's one of the blends that we have coming out. We're also working on an all-natural deodorant infused with flower essences. You may see that coming out soon, as well as some elixirs for pets and some travel sprays, kind of like a hand cleanser, hand sanitizer thing, but also for travel, because we're hoping that we're traveling more in the future. And also because as we travel and go camping and have kids, and because life is messy, we're going to release a really yummy, moisturizing hand spray. I had a message from Christina Wingware, who co-hosts the Moonshine episodes here on the Flower Lounge, and she sent me this message when she found out that we were going to be listing a very select few of our survival flower elixirs and aromatherapy blends on Amazon as a way to reach more people. And I know some people are pro Amazon, they love it. Some folks are trying to get away from Amazon. In either case, this felt like a way for us to reach more people in a world where people are struggling. This is a way for us to reach out to some of those people that are in areas that we don't currently reach. So I got a text from Christina that said, Mars is squared Pluto, and that means it's a time for finding new ways to do things. And so precisely that fits in with the theme of this particular episode. I want to encourage you to rethink, reinvent, reimagine your life, the way you do things, the way you want to see your life in the future. It's okay to think about 2021 and how you want to see that come into play, and what things you need to prepare for and create stability and foundation for this year in order to really be able to go nuts in 2021. Looking at your health, right? Like taking this opportunity to reimagine your health. What are the ways that you can employ very simple tactics on a daily basis that can really make a dramatic improvement in your health and wellness? I recently joined a program with Dr. Zach Bush, and I'm learning a ton. I will share more about that in the future. Hopefully we can do some sort of collaboration, because what Zach Bush is up to is phenomenal work, and totally fits in line with the flower essences. And I believe that he has the key to amplifying what we're up to, what we're all up to with flower essences as well. And there may be a direct correlation between his work and our work. But taking, time to really, what is the exercise that you need today? What is the creative time that you need today? What kind of space do you want around you? I know that Angie Cho, who's another one of our friends and partners in our community, she works with feng shui. Is there something you need to change or shift in your home or in your office? Is there something that you need to tidy up or rethink, reimagine? Now is the time. And if you feel a little bit slumpy or stagnant, or what I'm saying is not resonating, then highly recommended to take your hand at, try out Inspired Action or Game Changer flower essence blends, or join the Flower Revolution and work with the azalea flower for the next few weeks. It will set you on fire. Guaranteed, if you're not already on fire. I know that we have just so many projects going on. One thing that we did last weekend was take some really big Post-it notes that you can get at any office store, and then the smaller Post-it notes, and just brain dump all of the different ideas and possibilities onto little stickies so that we can move them around on the big sticky, huge sticky pads that you can post on the wall. I really love this method for thinking big and brainstorming, because you can move the little notes around and then, start out with just a brain dump, and then maybe the next time start to organize your thoughts and streamline it into an actual plan of how you'll implement it. This is great for business, nonprofit, organizing your home, organizing your life, making things happen in whatever realm that you operate in. So many other projects coming up. And if you have any requests of us, please reach out and let us know. We are also working on flower essence education programs that are able to be taken digitally. They are in the works. They're in video editing right now. They're beautiful. I can't wait to offer those. If any of you love the meditations that we offer that come with each product, I'm going to be redoing all of those with the exception of expansive presence. So if there are any meditations that you loved, download those because they're all going to change. Those are currently at lotuswei.com/meditation. Some of them were recorded outside where the birds are singing and it's beautiful, but then the wind comes and the recording wasn't the best. So if you're in love with any of those, download those and save those because those are all going to change. And also, the company is at a different place right now and I'm at a different place, and we are always striving to grow and evolve. And so I want the energetic signature of what we're putting out in the world to be the most recent and fresh and evolved as possible. So those will be updated. And we're also thinking about retreats. So if you have any feedback about retreats, I recorded a podcast episode with Eli Buren the other day that will be coming out in the next few weeks. What an incredible human being. He leads retreats for men out in nature. And I'm very, very much inspired by the idea of leading co-ed retreats where we can separate and come back together and work together on some kind of project, whether that's in the hot springs in the middle of the United States where everyone can, literally travel to still, or virtual retreats that you can do at home, whether that's like a mask or soaking in the bathtub or doing a particular practice or weaving it into your week. Let me know what you're interested in. If there's any particular requests that you have, now is a great time because we are just revamping and recreating all kinds of things. So I'm just tuning in to the azalea flower right now to see if there is any other message that is necessary that wants to come through. If you're not working with the azalea flower, the message would be to really allow yourself the time right now to take a step back and up and overlook your life from the top, like from an eagle's perspective. Are there things that you can and will want to rearrange and make easy or streamlined so that when life changes unexpectedly or things grow or evolve or kids go back to school, that it's done in a very conscious way, that you are 500% in charge of your life as you want it to be, that this is a perfect time to reinvent the wheel, to reimagine, to recreate, and to funnel all of your passion and energy into creating this to be the world that you want to live in. If you're seeing things around you that are frustrating, that don't make sense, that are conflicting information, that are corrupt, that have hidden agendas or covert agendas, or that try to get people into polarity of one extreme to the next, or that try to elicit arguing and anger, one of the most powerful antidotes is to turn that energy. You can acknowledge it. You can acknowledge that that's what's happening in the world, and then take all of that energy that you're experiencing inside you and funnel it into creating the world as you want it to be. I am a firm believer in that we as the people are much, much, much more powerful than any political system or any governmental leaders, governors, mayors. We, the people, create the whole world, and that includes politicians, right? We, the people, as a mass, have a tremendous amount of power. And if you listen to the podcast episode that I did, one of my favorites with Jim Turner, we talk about so many things that are really important and pertinent to today. If you haven't heard that episode, I highly recommend it. Probably the most important podcast episode that I've ever recorded. But he talks a lot about, at the end of the podcast, he talks about us as the people, as the masses, creating change in the world, as the ones who create the demand for new products and solutions and ways of doing things. And that's the way the world should be. You listening in this community of the Flower Lounge should demand and dictate to us at LOTUSWEI, or like share, what is it that you need? How can we make your life easier? What kind of things do you want to see, whether it's content, education, products? And it is our duty to you and to the world to create beautiful things and experiences that are awakening and transformative and that make your life better. That is the way it should be. And so when we take back our power inside of ourselves, when we become empowered and recognize that we are not just at the mercy of politicians, we are not just at the mercy of authoritarian decisions that don't make any sense to us, or we are not just at the mercy of some unknown, scary, unseen virus, etc., that in fact now is the time that we reach inside of ourselves and find all of that creative power and recreate how first we want our lives to be, and then how we can infuse that tremendous creative potential that we have that lies within us and infuse it into projects that benefit the world and that create the world that we want to live in. Now is the time to take charge. And I am seeing people in my life and I live with a lot of roommates. I'm seeing it in every single one of my roommates, in our community, that people are it's like taking back the power. Like there's nothing that was, given away other than just mentally in an illusory format, in an illusion. It is time for us to create the world that we want to live in. And there's no one stopping us, right? It is totally in our capacity to create exactly the kind of world we want to live in. I am watching, this beautiful school emerge. So in the Self-Arising Nature Center, this beautiful school is self-arising with lovely parents and children. I can hear the rock tumbler in the background, tumbling rocks. There is a new way to do things, and we can discover that way inside of ourselves. We can follow the creative inklings that we have. If we get a little spark of an idea, we can write it down, we can follow it, we can talk to other people. Do you think this is feasible? We can get together as a group, we can allow collaboration, we can delegate, we can ask for help, and we can make mistakes. Like so often, I get feedback from one of my coaches, Robin Sandomierski, who you also probably are aware of. I've interviewed her several times on the podcast, and she along with Erin Borbet offer flower essence consultations with LOTUSWEI. You can find those on the website under services. But I receive both personal and business coaching from Robin Sandomierski, and she recently has always been saying to me, you can't make any mistakes. You don't have to worry about things being perfect up front. You can train yourself to understand that you can take a turn, you can pivot right in the middle if you need to. And I think that's it's a message that all of us could benefit to hear more and more, is we don't have to be perfect, and we don't have to anticipate. We can't anticipate. In fact, we're working in a world that is full of unknowns right now, and we are creating a new world. And in creating a new world, there's going to be a lot of unknown. So how could we be perfect? And in the imperfection is the perfection. It's wabi-sabi, just like the Japanese say, there's perfection in the imperfection. And so if you get a creative inkling or idea or a calling to try something, go for it. What do you have to lose? And if it doesn't work out, you take a turn, you pivot, you change. Just try new things. Take all of that energy you have inside of you. Reduce the amount of time that you're on social media. Cut the news out or only watch it in like little tiny microbites, and then use that energy, because you are the future. You are creating this world. We are together are creating this world that we live in. Tell me about your creative projects. Tell me about what you're up to. Tell me about your community projects. Tell me what you need help with. Inspire us. We can inspire you. Thank you so much for listening to the Flowerlounge Podcast. I know this was sort of a mishmash of wild ideas, but I really want to inspire you. Let's create a new world together. Thank you so much for listening to the Flower Lounge. I'm Katie Hess, and we'll be releasing a new podcast every Wednesday. If you like what you heard, or you know someone who might be touched by our conversation, share it with them. And don't forget to subscribe. To find out what your favorite flowers mean about you, take the quiz at LOTUSWEI.com.